Hello everyone and welcome back to the Testo video guide series. In this guide we'll discuss the press action, which allows you to, press keyboard buttons in your test scripts. Let's take a look at the example with a blank virtual machine based on the Ubuntu server ISO image. In the previous guide we managed to start this machine and interrupt the test with the abort action and stop and fail command line argument. Let's run this test as it is, keeping in mind the stop and fail argument. The machine powers on, and we can see the beginning of the Ubuntu server installation. This is fine and all, but presumably you'd like to actually do something more substantial with the virtual machine. And today we're going to learn the most basic thing possible: pressing keyboard buttons. This can be done with the press action. The most basic press action looks like this. Just write down the keyword press and follow it with the key you want to press. Let's try to press enter on the first language selection screen. First, we need to wait for the screen to show up. And for now, we're going to do it with the sleep action. Now we run the test, and we can see that the press action worked just fine. We got to the next screen. Okay, moving on. Let's assume that you want to get to the test memory menu option. We need to press down 5 times and then press enter. It is possible to specify several keyboard buttons in a row in a single press action. Just write down all the keys you want to press and separate them with commas. Run the test again and you'll see Testo navigating to the test memory menu option. Everything works perfectly fine. As you could have noticed, this press action looks quite ugly and cumbersome, since we're forced to duplicate the key down 5 times. In a case when you need to press the same button several times, you can make things a little more compact. Write down the button and then specify amount of times you want it to be pressed with an asterisk. Run the test again to make sure everything stays fine. Okay, moving on. You might have noticed that the keyboard buttons are being pressed really quick. Let's assume that you want to slow things down a bit. You can do this with the interval specifier, which adjusts the delay between the key pressings. The default interval value is 30 milliseconds. Let's change it to 1 second. Run the test again, and you'll see that the keys are being pressed much slower. You can also press several keys simultaneously with one press action. For instance, let's get the imported virtual machine with the Windows 7 operating system on board and a test where it's being powered on. Let's assume that we want to send the Ctrl-Alt-Delete combination inside the machine once the desktop is loaded. To do that, just write down the keys Ctrl, Alt and Delete and separate them by a plus sign. Launch the test and check that the combination was actually sent to the machine. To get ourselves a little practice, let's do an exercise. In a single press action, we're going to send the Ctrl-Alt-Delete combination and then select the log off option on the screen appearing after the combination was sent. We also want to increase the pressing time interval up to 1 second. That's what the resulting action will look like. The keyword press, then Ctrl plus Alt plus Delete, comma, down 2 times, comma, and finally enter. Don't forget the interval. Run the test and watch as everything goes as planned. So that's all you need to know about the press action in Testo-lang. Thank you very much for your time and I'll see you in the next videos.